Robert Greene, born May 14, 1959, is an American author known for writing about power, strategy, and how people actually behave in the real world. His book, The 48 Laws of Power, became a global bestseller, and over time, it's become one of those books that a lot of entrepreneurs, creators, and professionals keep going back to, and one idea he talks about is simple. But it hits hard. Powerful people don't feel the need to talk all the time. They just don't. If you really pay attention, whether you're in a meeting, hanging out with people, or even just watching how others interact, the person who's constantly talking, filling every silence, trying to prove a point, usually isn't the one in control. Actually, it's often the opposite, because when someone can't stop talking, it gives off a certain signal. It feels like they're trying a little too hard, like they need validation, and whether people say it out loud or not, they notice that. The truth is, self-control shows up in small things first, and one of the biggest ones is how you control your words. The more you talk, the more you reveal. Your thoughts, your doubts, your emotions, it all comes out. And once everything is out there, people can read you easily. They can predict you. And when people can predict you, you lose a bit of your edge. Plus, let's be real, the more you talk, the higher the chance you'll say something you didn't need to say, something emotional, something rushed, something you might replay later thinking, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. We've all been there. That's why people with real presence don't rush to speak. They're okay with silence. In fact, they use. Son, think about a typical meeting. Most people are trying to stand out by talking more. They jump in, they explain everything. They repeat points just to be heard. But then there's that one person. They're quiet, not in a shy way, but in a controlled way. They're watching, listening, letting everyone else talk. And then, when they finally speak, it's short, direct, thoughtful, and suddenly everyone pays attention. Why? Because they haven't been talking the whole time. So when they do speak, it feels like it matters. Sometimes they even say something slightly unclear, just enough to make people think. And now the room shifts. People start wondering, what do they mean? What are they really thinking? And just like that, the focus moves to them. That's power. Because now instead of you trying to get attention, people are naturally giving it to you. Another big part of this is not showing everything. You should absolutely have a plan. You should know where you're going, but that doesn't mean you need to explain every step to everyone around you. People like Otto von Bismarck were known for thinking several moves ahead. He knew exactly what he was doing, but he didn't lay it all out for others to see. And there's a reason for that. The moment people can fully predict you, they can prepare for you, and when they're prepared, you lose your advantage. So it's not about being secretive in a weird way. It's about being strategic. Now let's talk about something that really applies today, especially in the US, being visible. We live in a time where everyone feels like they have to be on all the time. Posting, sharing, reacting, staying active, and yeah, visibility matters, but too much of it, it can backfire. When people see you constantly, they get used to you. There's no anticipation, no curiosity. You become part of the background. Now compare that to people like Michael Jackson or Beyoncé. They didn't show everything. They didn't stay in front of people 24/7. Sometimes they were everywhere, and sometimes they just disappeared for a while. And what happened? People started asking questions. They got curious. That curiosity builds value. It makes people pay attention again. So it's not about disappearing completely. It's about balance, being present, but not overexposed. This even shows up in relationships. A lot of people think being completely open all the time is the key. And yes, honesty matters. But if everything becomes predictable, same routine, same energy, nothing new, things can start to feel flat. Attraction isn't just about comfort. It's also about curiosity, that feeling that there's still more to discover about the other person. That's why small surprises matter, doing something different, breaking the routine, showing a side of yourself they didn't expect. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to feel real, because those little moments bring energy back. And then there's body language. something people often overlook. You can say all the right words, but if your body says something else, that's what people will believe. Someone who's calm, relaxed, and steady. They naturally come across as confident. They're not fidgeting. They're not looking around nervously. They're just present. On the other hand, if someone is constantly adjusting themselves, avoiding eye contact, looking unsure, it creates a completely different impression, even if they're saying the right things. Because power isn't just about what you say, it's about how you carry yourself. So when you put it all together, it's actually pretty simple. You don't need to say more to have more impact. You just need to say the right things at the right time, and sometimes not say anything at all. Final thoughts: speak a little less, pay attention a little more, and be intentional with your words, because silence isn't empty. Sometimes it's the strongest thing you can say, and more often than not, the person who's comfortable with silence is the one who actually has control.